having the ability to go to strobe without having to have like some sort of like Legend of Zelda up down, left right left cheat code or something. You know what I mean? Like it was really cool to me because I'm thinking
Kamani code, yeah.
Yeah, instantly, you know, Game Genie. Magnetically rechargeable. It's got white focus light that's 25. Still use my firearm and keep it closer to my person. Most of the times I'm not clearing a house with a large can on the front of it or a suppressor on the front of it. You have white light mode. Click it again, you have a red light mode. Now, for the purposes of this video, some people are going to ask, why do you have a diffused light and why do you have a focus light? Same El Presidente drill, right side. You ready? Here we go. So, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that's it. It's 1200 lumens. Unless you're running that thing wide open for 40 minutes straight, you're going to be able to run it on high for a long time. But anytime you get in your car, anytime you get access to anything, you just take the magnetic charger, leave it on it, walk away, and you're good to go. How much you can focus that beam that way, or the fact that the reflector wants to focus it and disperse it outwards or widthwise or flood it.
I want you guys to see this test because this is the kind of stuff we do at Powertac. Obviously, we believe in this Diamondback rifle. We believe in our flashlights. We know our products, and we machine them a certain way. But this is what goes in that a lot of people don't realize goes into product testing.
I love that you're giving us ideas, which is really cool. Because I'm not a big coyote hunter. I don't know those things, so that's something I'll definitely.
There may not be a market y'all care about.
Well, it may be, but I would venture to say that there probably is because I didn't realize that the night vision market is as huge as it is. It's because I'm just running a PVS 14 white phosphor Photonis.
This is our new guardsman. My favorite thing I've seen at SHOT Show.
Really?
I'm not kidding. Everybody asks me what's their favorite thing. This is my favorite thing.
Obviously.
Guaranteed from finger to finger, bumper to bumper, if you say law enforcement. Cool thing I like about this for LEO, military, concerned citizens, okay? I can just hang out and talk to you, you don't even know what's in my hands, okay? Last second, I can put some light on it if I need to, okay? And let's say that you turn around, keep it bright, okay? Not everybody wants to keep it bright, let's say you keep it bright. You know, you're walking down the street or you're just hanging out somewhere and somebody decides they're going to talk to you. Hey man, what's going on? How's it going? I watched your eyes change just now when I did that. I didn't even put it directly in your eyes, but at 1200 lumens, this rechargeable 123 size light, this thing still has way more than enough to actually change that conversation. I'm not even going to put it directly in your eyes. It's a laser ring. Absolutely, it changes it, right?
This was designed to work with a coin, so you can put a coin in that slot to open it. I'm going to show you a couple cool tricks. If you have a 12 gauge shell, you can open it. If you have a 45 ACP or similar cartridge like this, you can open it. Heck, I've even gone so far as to test it with a USB cable. Why am I showing you this? Because this is something that you might actually need. This is part of why the design on this is as wide as it is, so that you can actually figure out how to use this properly. We want you to be able to use this light when you need it. It's designed with this cutout here, and one of the things that I can do is take my magnetic charging cable and let it charge while it's on my belt, on my person, in my vehicle. I don't have to keep it on a charger. I don't have to remove the battery, put it somewhere, put it on the charger, and then if I get a call, run to the charger, grab it, put the battery in it, turn it back on, put it back in my holster. None of that. It's ready to go. The second I have to leave the vehicle, it simply pulls away from the magnetic charge. Welcome to the Powertac podcast. This is Broad Ideas. I'll be your host, Rob. So today we're going to talk about something pretty near and dear to my heart, we'll say, okay? And that's wound care, that's trauma care. We're live on Instagram. I appreciate you guys as always. We're live on YouTube on Camera B and Camera C, obviously. I just want to get started by saying, guys, I appreciate all of the respect and the support and the love. I appreciate the comments, good, bad, or ugly. As a matter of fact, we're going to make sure that I can see those today. It's another beautiful week. We've had a bunch of horrible stuff happen, and I feel like people just need to be prepared. So it's kind of a always evolving topic that we talk about. I'm going to start off by showing my focus wound cube. So I've got my cool little cadet here, and I'm just going to show you guys. This is a wound cube by Focus Research. And it might be hard for you to see, but there's actually little holes and channels where you can pack wounds in. See if we can get that a little bit easier on camera. So in this wound cube, there's different spots where I can like put this flashlight into, and they simulate trauma, basically. They simulate gunshot wounds, lacerations, bad things. And it's ballistic gelatin, so it kind of reacts the way muscle tissue and things would. Not perfectly, obviously, but they do a really good job. So what Focus Research Group did here is they give you an opportunity to have a real-time wound packing experiment. So part of why I wanted to show that today is flashlights, okay? How can I tie in what we do at Powertac with rescue, trauma, military, law enforcement? Something as simple as the cadet. We obviously are not going to be able to take a weapon light. I mean, in the absolute worst case scenario, shine your weapon into a wound. I mean, if it's no light or that, but worst of scenarios, not giving you my blessing. But you have to have some illumination, some sort. Something like the cadet that's always on your person, $79 on our website, ready to go. You take the cadet, you put it on a hat, okay? If you've got any type of hat, garments, if you've got any type of helmet, comms, anything, you could find a way to use this light and mount it without having issues. So illumination on wound care, why is that important? Obviously, you want to find the bleed. You want to stop or assess the situation. If you can control the bleed or try and stop the bleed, that's what you've got to do, okay? So how do you do that? You have to see it. You have to identify it. No different than if you're shooting, no different than if you're a law enforcement guy going on a traffic stop. You have to see the problem, and you have to be able to figure out, okay, this is how I address that problem. Illumination from a Powertac is a great, great, easy way to do that. So some basic concepts and things I wanted to go through. We talked really quickly about the wound cube. The reason I like the wound cube, it gives you immediate feedback. You can take these, they come with little red tacks, so you can just hand it off to somebody and say, hey, arterial bleed, go ahead and do it. And we talk about, obviously different kits, something like this. I've recently put 2 tourniquets, really, really accessible. I don't know if you can see that Instagram side, but I have 2 tourniquets instantly accessible on both sides. And I learned a really, really cool tip from a friend of mine, so colleague of mine, coworker of mine. So let's say this is your tourniquet. When you're going to put your tourniquet on, okay, I want to use the least amount of effort to open that tourniquet. I don't know if you saw that. The way I stage my tourniquets, as soon as I get it out, hopefully I can just pull it right out. If I'm wounded or immobilized, right, and I get it out one-handed per se, I can shake it open really, really, really quickly. It's just kind of the way I stage mine. There's different ways you can stage yours. But this was actually really cool. So let's say I've got one arm to use. You see this right here, the way my friend showed me to stage this here, my coworker? Instantly snap it into place. So now, why is that important? Well, let's say I happen to have a flashlight that I can use to check my work, okay? We always want to be checking our work. It's no different than if you're shooting a handgun, shooting a rifle, check my work, see what I've done. Did it stop the threat? Is there still a threat? That kind of thing. So obviously checking your work in those scenarios is a great, great way to do it. But something as simple as a tourniquet and tourniquet application. Obviously, I'll go back and restage that. But find the problem, implement a solution or implement an idea,
make it happen. Okay. TCCC stuff, all that good stuff. We can go all the way down the rabbit hole and discuss those types of things. Why is that important? I believe maybe 90 to 95% of my students when I was teaching concealed carry, I used to teach a class called Bump in the Night. And that class was very specific. Okay. That class was, you're at home. There's a horribly loud noise at your front door. Probably your door hitting the floor. And 1 to 5 guys, maybe SEAL Team 6, if you guys are that important, have now kicked down your door. They're in your home. What do you do? So my teaching background is more focused on realistic scenarios. It's not you're in the trunk of a car and 5 guys decide they're going to rob your Hellcat Charger, or you're in Afghanistan and you're putting rounds down range. It's more stateside, that kind of thing. So my expertise, I would say. So where do I get that number from? 90 to 95% of guys that don't have training. What's going on, Combat Art? I tell you this. Most people, they get kit or they get tools or they get toys. Kit, tools, and toys. I use those 3 terms because how many people, if they bought a HL10 from Powertac, the Explorer, okay, and this is a modified one because that's, how many would go, okay, well, I know it has white light on one side. I know it has white light on the other. It has red, it has IR, it has strobe. How many guys are going to actually take the time to go, wow, I really don't know anything about night vision technique, or I don't know anything about night vision tactics. Let me find somebody that does. No, we get night vision, or we get, FLIR thermal, or, whatever brand thermal you get, and we watch a YouTube video or 2. That's not real life. I could watch a basketball player any day of the week, twice on Sunday. I will never have handles, okay? If you play basketball, Instagram guys, if you jump onto the YouTube side, I can answer your questions if there's chat. I just want to address it. I can't answer you guys on Instagram right now. I'm not set up for it right now at the moment. I apologize. If you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, all that stuff, whatever. But go to the YouTube channel, and I can answer you in chat there. But I digress. I go watch every video of Allen Iverson. I'll never have handles. I just won't. I've got 2 left hands. They work okay. But I need training. And hands-on training is the best training, because it took me trying to put that tourniquet on in person after watching 10, 20, 30, 40 videos, being in classes. I was in classes, and it was just me with my buddy, showing him my kit, telling him what I wanted to do differently, telling him the different aspects of my training that, hey, this is where I think I'm strong. But, I told him cut and dry. I've never been in combat. The only form of combat I've ever had is law enforcement related, or being a bouncer in a bar and being a security guard type guy. So, I've never been in the sand for 30 days and had to deal with that. So tools, toys, kits, tactics, training, all that stuff kind of ties in. Here's a perfect example. We talked about the tourniquet. So you stop the bleeding. Everyone knows, man, I need a tourniquet. Well, technically you need 4 for you, because if you're shot once, you might be shot 3 times, or you might be shot in 2 places in your arm, and it might be a leaking wound, meaning it's still, for whatever reason, you might snap this tourniquet, okay? You're not supposed to use these things over and over and over again. They're kind of one and done. Could that be North American Rescue saying, hey, we just like money, we don't want you to keep using them? Or could it be that some guerrilla did their job and just tightened this thing down as hard as they could to make sure that you're good to go? So, okay, you got the tourniquet on. What now? So we wrap the wound. Well, what happens if you have multiple wounds? How do you declare to the guy that you're never going to talk to? Okay, how do you declare to the triage nurse or the doctor or the military guys that are going to handle this guy, the medevac that's going to take this guy, this is where the wound is? Because you might not get to do that. So here's another cool idea. This is something that I kind of want to say I thought of, but I don't remember if I do. Let's say you got something like a chem light. Okay, you snap this joker, you shake it up. Okay, I don't even know what one this is. This one looks like it's yellow. I hope that was yellow, but see, this one's older than dirt. This is the reason I'm willing to break this guy. But so we break this guy, we do our thing, chem light. There we go. We break this thing, chem light. So this is a blue chem light. It's really, really out of date. You can't really see it with the camera, but this one's blue. So what I would do is I would wrap that on the arm, drawing attention, okay? Underneath the gauze on the last or second to last one. Why? Because I want them to see this blue colored light shining through. Again, there's actually a lot of light right now because, I don't know if you can see that. There's a lot of light right now because the overhead lighting, but this is a blue chem light. That's going to immediately draw attention. If that person's unconscious, if they fainted, if they're dead, it's going to immediately at least draw attention to, hey, this is where the wound is, because there's a bright glowing beacon on this side of their body. That's probably why, right? Attention over here, here's a clue. So I tell you that, tell you this. Not every nurse, doctor, medical practitioner is created equal. You have EMS, you have paramedics, you have doctors, you have nurses, nurse anesthetists, trauma doctors, you have anesthesiologists, just people for days. The difference is you may not get to talk to any of them. So how do you alert them? In World War II, they used to put marks and write things on their head in Sharpie. I always tend to have a Sharpie on me. It's kind of one of my favorite pieces of kit. Your Sharpie might be gone. Somebody might have already asked for your Sharpie. So chem lights, mark where you're at, mark your position, mark where you came in, mark where you tend to go out, mark a clear hallway. However you and your team have intended to use those products, that's the best thing. I don't want to leave my warrior, okay? This is an older warrior, by the way, Gen 1, pretty cool. I don't want to leave my warrior back behind and just leave it on. I could just leave it there, okay, and just do a strobing thing. Could do that. Don't want to. I kind of want to have my tools on me. So why is that important again? Have a plan. When you purchase a Powertac, don't just be the guy that goes, I mean, you can purchase as many Powertacs as you want. By all means, God bless you. But if you buy a Cadet, why did you buy a Cadet? I mean, thanks. Cool. Great. Awesome. But why did you buy a Cadet? Did you buy it because Rob from Powertac said it's cool? Did you buy it because our marketing team did a great job? Did you buy it because Powertac's awesome and you just want to support us? Thanks. Love you guys. Did you buy it for a specific, tangible reason that you can grab and hold on to and say, last week I broke down on the side of the road and I was holding this big clunky light and I didn't have a way to illuminate what I was working on and go hands-free. And I had to keep picking up the flashlight. I'm underneath this truck and I look like some sort of weird lobster. Whatever your why is, have a plan, execute, okay? Don't just blindly buy or do things. Our time here is limited. The worst thing you can do is waste it. The worst thing you can do is waste your money. Your money's hard-earned, okay? Your money's important. Why is it important? Because you worked for it, or somebody gave it to you and they worked for it. But it's a limited thing. It's a finite number, okay? It's not infinite. Banks can crash. Crazy market stuff can always happen. Spend wisely. Buy a flashlight. Put it in every bag. I don't have one flashlight that I keep on my person and no flashlights in my bags. Every bag I own has a flashlight. It might be the last or the previous to last model. It might be an older one, but I at least have spare batteries for it. And I try to keep things organized in the sense of, again, I have a specific tangible attribute to this bag. So let's say it's the theorem stuff that I was talking about last week. Let's say it's having a theorem case, which will hold some Powertac CR123s. That's important. I don't keep any of my lights in a bag that doesn't have spare batteries, okay? Have that specific relatable goal. I'm catching some hate Instagram. I don't know if you're aware, because if you're not aware, Instagram, I can't see your questions or your comments. But the people of YouTube, my fine colleagues and my fine friends here, believe that, well, the comments are going, so I can't see them. But long story short, they don't like the clean, smooth, adolescent look of the beardless wonder that is Rob nowadays. Truth, I love it. In the Boy Scouts, they told us to use blood to write TK on the forehead. Okay. That's a little creepy. Just kidding. Boy Scouts, you guys are awesome.
I love you guys. You guys are great. I got the Cadet because I love Powertac and I love to always have that size of a light on me. That is awesome. I appreciate you. This has actually been in my pocket a bunch. It's actually kicked out my E9. I don't know if the E9 is permanently out of my pocket. The one thing that I will say about the Cadet, and again, I'm a Powertac guy, obviously. But the one thing I will say about my E9, which has gone AWOL, the one thing I will say, it's right behind me because it's always never gone. I just like guys bigger is better sometimes. I'd love to bullshit you. I'd love to tell you guys something crazy. The Cadet's phenomenal. It disappears in my pocket. I don't mind carrying something bigger in my pocket. Okay? I'm used to it. I like having something big in my pocket. Somebody will reference other reasons why I like things like this in my pocket. Because I'm used to it. The E9 is still my favorite Powertac. I love the Warrior because I trust my life with it every day. But the E9 is still my favorite Powertac. But here's the really cool thing. The Cadet is very close. It's very close. It has the power to weight ratio. So we have lower modes and we have higher modes. It has the power for the size. They're both magnetically rechargeable. They both have the same recharging ports. They both have a lot of the same features. They're both user specific as far as those features go. Okay. And I like that. I like that I don't have to make a conscious effort to think which one did I carry. But I like the clip on the Cadet more. The Cadet was designed to be a deep carry EDC, as you can see by the pocket clip. Again, Instagram guys, I love you. I cherish your friendship. If you go on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that crap. But if you go on YouTube, I can answer your comments and your questions. I can't answer them on Instagram. I'm sorry. I suck. It is what it is. I just think the Cadet is probably the best EDC light that we make. I really do. So that being said, I will go ahead and tell you guys now, if you go and try and buy a Cadet from our website right now and you use coupon code LIVE40, L-I-V-E 40, for the duration of this podcast, you will get any flashlight that is normally priced on our website for 40% off. I know that's dumb, but it is what it is. It's something that we're doing. We're appreciative for you guys tuning in for the podcast. We appreciate the input. We appreciate what you guys are doing. So obviously, anything you want, it could be a Cadet, it could be E9, it could be 79s, it could be 2 Cadets. But if you have a bag, you better have a spare light in it, and you better check your batteries. Something I do, a lot of guys might not do it. I check my optics once a year. Okay. I try and do it on my birthday every year. So I won't get into that. I'm a Pisces. But I just went through a bunch of stuff. Trigicon RMRs, EOTechs. I found an EOTech that I thought was bad. I don't know if the batteries button or the buttons were sticking on it. I don't know if the batteries were just a little bit, but even with fresh batteries, it didn't want to do anything. I don't know why. But with fresh batteries, it just didn't want to turn on. So I turned around, I shook it a little bit, did my thing. Miraculously, it turned on. I would not have known there might be a problem with that optic if I didn't do my yearly battery checkup. So once a year, I check my batteries, I check my optics, I run everything. It takes me about 3-4 hours, honestly, to go through all of that stuff. And there will be things that I forget. But if I check and check and check, I won't have those problems. So M5 for pocket, Saber for purse, E9 for car, Warrior for bedside table, and a Watchdog Patrolman for the back door. There is a destroyer-shaped hole in your logic. I just want you to know that, Danielle. I wish that there was a destroyer in that logic. Warrior for everything, Justin. Absolutely. I love that. Instagram feed is down. That touches me in the deepest places. I hate that. That does not work well. So we're going to continue on a little bit. Again, coupon code LIVE40, L-I-V-E 40. Apparently the Instagram guys are SOL, and I can't get a hold of them. So it's just you guys, YouTube. We're going to talk a little bit more about the HL10. And we're going to talk about why I think you should seriously consider the HL10 for wound care, trauma, things of that nature. If I hit that guy, you have your white diffuse light, you have your red diffuse light, and you have IR. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I don't believe you can. because the white light. But you have IR illumination. I have had to medevac people in law enforcement. I can tell you that there are people that I know that run night vision. A lot of civilians are starting to run at least a PBS 14. For those of you that don't know what a PBS 14 is or a PBS 7, it is a single monocular night vision device. Okay, so a single one for PBS 14. The PBS 7 is that old school. It looks like a old crappy pair of binoculars. It has that one single tube in it. But you can use this to light up whatever you want within reason because it has IR illumination. It's really cool. And it's $129. And you have IR strobe. So if you have to mark yourself, mark a location, and do things, super cool, man, high speed stuff. If there's a helicopter above you, okay, and it's tracking your position, or they're looking for people, I guarantee you they have IR illumination. Or excuse me, they have night vision or thermal. They have to, okay? They're in a helicopter. Helicopter. I want you to say it with me. Helicopter. It's a lot of money. They have a lot of cool toys and stuff on it. And they're trained to look for those things. So when they turn around and look for you, or you're trying to identify location, if they're looking for people in the woods, if you're lost, yes, there's a lot of things that might be cool. The power consumption to run the IR strobe on the HL10, very, very small. Okay, so you can run the strobe on this thing for a very, very, very long time. You could put it on a plate carrier, such as this one, using the J-hook setup. You can customize it, modify it like I did for myself. I will give you a perfect example. On this one, if I take this plate carrier, which we're just going to throw this on here and give you an idea. So I take my plate carrier, and we make this little clip connection here. My old plate carrier, I used to keep it right here. And I used to keep it right here because it's my offside. It's not my dominant side. It's not my rifle side. So I would put it on this strap here, which unfortunately on this plate carrier doesn't work. So now I get to play with the idea of, do I put it up here? Do I put it down here? But I get to play with that because I don't want to have to take the plate carrier off. That's part of the cool guy stuff as far as your kit goes, okay? Tools, tactics, tips, training, that kind of thing. If you don't try and use this stuff, you're not going to find problems with it. Don't let the first time you use this stuff remind you that you don't know how to use it, or it doesn't work the way you thought it did, or you don't know how to use it well. So I challenge you to go out, get some training, find some videos. Do what's on those videos, okay? If they're YouTube, if they're not, let's say it's something as simple as, I'm going to use this for example because this is not a gun. Let's say it's as simple as dry fire training, okay? You take it, you punch out, you do what you have to do, you do your dry fire training. This thing's not a complete 2011, by the way. This is a work in progress. But if I turn around, I punch out, well, wait a minute. This gets in my way now. Well, I don't like that. Okay, well, then you need shooter's cut. What is shooter's cut? I'll move my chair here so I'm more centered up. Shooter's cut plates are cut like this instead of cut like this. So when I bring my arms in, my little armies don't get stabbed. Little known fact. But if you don't put your stuff on and play Call of Duty or whatever it is you want to do, you're not going to know how your kit and setup works. This stuff is important. It's important because flashlight technique is everything. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm not going to name names because they'll probably see this. But this, well, hang on, let's do this. Power up my cadet here. This is not what I want as I'm coming up to, and I'll leave a lot of details out of this, as I'm coming up to a scene where I may or may not have to use my weapon. I don't want the only indication of a human form that I need to know is alive or dead to be them flashing me in the face with a flashlight. So I had to have a come to Jesus moment with a gentleman who decided that, mind you, they're law enforcement, that the best idea was to shine a light directly at my face to let me know where they were. I would love to tell you that this is a made-up story. I would love to tell you that it's not accurate. Guys, everybody can always learn more. Everybody can always use more training. Get on YouTube, look up low light technique, flashlight techniques. Go to tactical response. Look up James Yeager. Go to tactical response. You may love him. You may hate him. He's rough around the edges sometimes.
But James Yeager's forgotten more than a lot of people will ever know about low light technique, firearms, tactics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. The internet's full of people who love to get behind a keyboard and type what they want to type. But realistically, you're talking about a guy who's been there. You're talking about a guy who's been law enforcement, seen combat. I can get a lot of great instructors out there. There's guys like SPG1 Tactical. Okay. There's guys like Nielsen Concepts. Okay. There's BPAM, BBAM, BAM, Bambo, my friend Ron. Okay. I had to do it to you, buddy. There's a lot of great low light training out there. WAFT, for example, go find training, medical training, trauma care, EMS care. USCCA does different training stuff. Check it out. Okay. It's fun. It's guys, who doesn't like doing that? So I have to get out of this fast. Okay. I don't want to be the guy who's LARPing on TV or on YouTube streams. So we're going to get out of this, guys, before my friends, family, and colleagues tell me that I'm a LARP. Grantham's probably already made a meme of me. So it's kind of a shorter podcast. I just wanted to basically get you guys on that mindset, on that path. I need you guys to get training. Okay. If you guys want me to do training, if you guys want me to do some low light stuff, if you guys want me to talk about stuff, I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew there was going to be one. Somebody banned Justin from the chat. I'm not a LARP. Okay. This is not a game. That is actual kit. That is actual gear that I haven't outfitted yet. But long story short, guys, coupon code LIVE40. I'm going to keep it active for a little while. Get on the website, buy some stuff, buy whatever you need. It's our gift to you. Thank you guys for tuning in. If there's stuff that you want us to do, we would love to do it. We would absolutely love to do it. Go train with Combat Art Training. Okay. They just did a low light building clearing and it was fantastic, mentally exhausting, trying to do both stealthy and dynamic in the dark. You will learn instantly that there is no such thing as stealth. Okay. If you think you're a stealthy guy, go into the woods, find anybody that will hang out with you, even if you have to pay them. And tell them that if they hear you, to just yell out, "Hey, I hear you moving." Just for 5 minutes. And when you realize that you have to look for 18 seconds before you step, and then you realize, oh crap, they've got a gun or they've got a rifle. There is no such thing as stealth. There are levels of what's acceptable. Okay. Unless you are a scout sniper, highest tier, and you've got 7 days to stalk your prey. And even then, your scope glints. Stealth denied. Stealth is very difficult. It is so much more difficult when just burping a flashlight one time in the dark, this instantly alerts somebody you're there. So, do you do that? Do you do a cup technique and just try and see maybe? Okay, because little known fact, red light's a lot less visible than white light. So if I'm in a dark area and I'm trying to see if I can move that way or not, and I don't want to alert anybody, that kind of gives off more of a reddish tone, doesn't it? Don't keep it on high mode because it's Powertac. It's dangerous striking bezel. It's hot. It can get warm. Tactics, stuff and things. Okay, go add subscribe to Combat Art Training. Okay, let's see what they're doing. Everybody that's here, go subscribe to Combat Art Training. Let's see what they're doing. If he's not doing low light stuff, he just took a class. I'll tell you where to take it. Okay. Good concept. If it glows, it shows. That's not nice because there is a Netflix series, or is it Netflix? It's on some channel. I just had to pay $20 for it. My girlfriend needed it. There's a Chernobyl video, and if it glows, it shows is probably very insulting to them. They're offended right now, Justin. So that being said, use coupon code LIVE40. I will tell you this much. I am terribly unprepared since the Instagram crowd is not, unfortunately, able to see us right now. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that our weekend or weekly giveaway winners at Harp US 8, at Harp US 8, and at Jake Amaral, you guys have won a Powertac. hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on the YouTubes, hit us up on the Powertac website, hit us up on the official Powertac Facebook fan page. Okay. The YouTubes is always the best way to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. I appreciate you guys turning into the Powertac podcast. If you have any last minute questions, now's the time to ask because I am gone in a matter of seconds. So that being said, training, tactics, techniques, guys, a Powertac won't light your pants on fire. I don't know any other way to explain it. I will not take questions, comments, or concerns for it, but a Powertac will not catch your pants on fire. I leave you with those closing thoughts. Take a low-light building clearing at Tactical Response in Camden, Tennessee. That's what I'm talking about, man. Go see James. In the future, we will start scheduling a low-light pistol again. See? That's what I'm talking about. Go see James. James Yeager, Tactical Response. Guys, you can say whatever you want. Are you going to believe a bunch of duds on Instagram and YouTube? Or are you going to believe somebody that's probably taught more people than, Hooked on Phonics? Because it worked for me. Bad joke in, bad joke out. I appreciate everybody. Guys, good luck. God bless. Stay safe.